trying to do a live on one phone and on YouTube all at the same time. I'm really being techie here. Just give me 5 seconds. I'm really trying to do a live on one phone and on YouTube all at the same time. There we go. I am going to be making the cottage cheese brownies, bagels here today. I've already blended up my cottage cheese. That's what all the mess is in the background, but we don't mind a mess around here. I'm also recording this on like Instagram. If you are on Instagram right now, I am doing this on the Galaxy Z Flip with the outward screen. So I don't know what the quality is like. So if it's poor, I'm so sorry. But we are going to be making bagels today. I've already done the cottage cheese. The next step is so easy. These are the easiest things that I've probably ever made, and one of my new favorites. Also, any of the mess you see in the background, those are all clean dishes. I made a homemade soup the other day. We've been on a little baking kick here now because we're trying to eat better since coming back from our trip. Because if you know, if you ever go on a holiday, the eating gets, just wild. So I don't have self-rising flour. I use the gluten-free flour for this recipe. If you are wanting this recipe right now, write it down. This is for the two main ingredient cottage cheese bagel. So it's 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1 cup of self-rising flour if you have self-rising. If you don't have self-rising flour, you have to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, because that is what makes your dough rise and makes your bagels nice and fluffy. Oh my goodness. 1 second. I just realized something. Oh, what a dodo. I have been going crazy looking for this 1/4 cup scoop, and it's been in this flour bag the whole time. I don't know if anyone else ever has that problem. So yes, so you mix all that together, you blend your cottage cheese, preheat your oven to 375, and yeah, you cook for, I think they're cooked for about 20 minutes. I actually don't remember. And the recipe is on my phone, so that's great. We're just gonna pop them in and we're gonna keep an eye on them and see how they look until they get golden brown. Personally, I like to do a little basic egg wash on them and then I season them how I like. So I do everything bagel seasoning, but I like to get a little fancy. I really like we have this garlic rosemary spice that we got in the States, and chef's kiss. It is so beautiful. So I'm gonna do that. I think this recipe makes about 4 bagels, by the way. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a sweet bagel too. Like brush one, this would just be a strictly for science. I would like to maybe brush one with like maple syrup and sprinkle it with cinnamon, so I have like kind of like a sweet one, and then I would cut and put like cream cheese and apples in there and eat it warm. I think that would be so delicious. If any of you have been commenting, I'm so sorry. I am not obviously answering because I'm chatting, is what it would be. But yes, let's start scooping this out because I've had a busy day and I am tired. There's so many people who want to like know more about my trip and hear more details and like the accessibility of the resort, and I'm currently making those videos. Like, I don't know what it's like for other content creators, but for me, editing is the worst part, and why it takes so long for me to make the content after the trips or the fun things. It's the editing that kills me, and part of me thinks it's because also, I'm not a professional baker or cooker by any means, so whatever I'm doing, if you see and you think it's wrong, it probably is, but we mind our own business on this page. We are minding our business. back to what I was saying. Also, I don't think you're supposed to pack your flour in there, so I'm gonna redo that. So sorry. Jeepers. It takes me so long, and part of me thinks that's because one, ADHD, but I'm medicated for it now. So imagine me not on medication. That would be crazy. Throwback to my old life. And I just like get so like my head gets so tired, my eyes get so tired, like I physically get a headache if I'm like on my phone too much as it is. So when I have to go and edit all this content and I do it on my phone, I have like a Galaxy, so it's like one of those big phones, and I have like a stylus that helps it, but it just like exhausts my eyes because a lot of people probably don't know, after the car accident, schmucked my head really good and it gave me a convergence palsy. So my eyes don't actually want to converge all the time. They have gotten much better. I've done a lot of eye therapy, so that basically means that I constantly have a lazy eye. I'm always having to get my eyes to come in, so also if I'm looking at you and you don't know where I'm looking, again, we're minding our business here. So I think that that's probably why it's so hard for me to sometimes get the editing done, and it's just like exhausting. It's exhausting, and I'm still like recovering from travel. Travel takes the most out of me, and also, I probably didn't say this. I'm doing bagels today because I have been kind of lazy with my hands. So that's why I made homemade soup the other day. I cut all of my own veggies by myself. I used my fancy cutting board and my fancy peeler. I did it all by myself. It did take me 3 hours to make soup, but it turned out, and I did it all by myself. So I'm just working really hard to, make sure that I'm not getting lazy with my hands, because after surgery I kind of fell on the ball with that one. So that's just to like maintain function, and like I have an incomplete spinal cord injury. If anyone is in here and you don't regularly come to my page, I was in a car accident 4 years ago. It doesn't seem that long to me, but 4 years ago, and it rendered me an incomplete quad. So I am very blessed. I have amazing use of my hands and my arms, where, again, a lot of other people unfortunately don't, but they're not at full function. And the thing about incomplete injuries and your body is that you kind of always have to be engaging it somehow, always have to be working it out somehow to keep that muscle function good. It literally is, if you don't use it, you'll lose it, and it's exhausting. It becomes exhausting. The years leading up to I got married in 2023, and I worked almost every day so I could walk at my wedding, and I did, fun fact. So my body was also a lot stronger then than it is now, and so this last few months, like minus my surgery month, I was working really hard at it again, but I definitely noticed, like, I have partial function in one of my legs, like voluntary function. Not enough to be like a walker, hence wheelchair life. But even on my good leg, when I'm trying to do like standing therapy and that, like, she's tired, so I need to get back into it, and it's just like exhausting. It's exhausting living with neurologic conditions, I will say. Once again, if y'all are commenting, I'm not paying no mind. I don't even know how to go back to read comments on a live. I don't even know. I literally have my laptop open just so I can read your guys' comments. And it's like so weird. This is my first time like doing this, like lives on different things here, and I don't know how either of these things work. I don't know how live on Instagram works. This is my first time doing this, because I'm a TikTok girly normally, which I also like I don't want to say I didn't stop doing. I just like got lazy with my social media. I was like really like proactive with it in the summer, and it really started like taking off, and then I took a break because I get not sick of it. Like I said, I hate editing content, so then I just kind of take a little break here and there. But my Instagram, my TikTok, everything has been like really acting weird the last like month and a half, I got hacked like bad, like not even just like, so not passwords, like think banking information bad. That's how bad I got hacked. And since then, it like always is notifying me that there's different people logging in and blah blah blah. So I think that that's why like my views and my following count is like all over the place right now. Like I on my end see that like my videos have been watched like 20 times. I think one of my last videos on my end it showed that it got viewed 1,000 times. And then Ryan says when he logs on, it shows a different view count. So I don't know what's going on. If it's my phone, if it's glitching, I don't know. Don't know, but we're working on it. So whoever sees this content, and that's just okay. There was just a lot of people that were wanting to know more about my travel and stuff like that. So it's just like, if my content isn't getting seen, it's just sad that like people are gonna think that I like got lazy on them or something. I don't have a sifter, and I just like to mix my flour and baking powder together first, just to make sure everything is really like mixed together. Mixed together. Also, for the salt, I just kind of eyeball it. I love to bake, so I've gotten pretty good at eyeballing what is what. But yes, this is like, I'm not Martha Stewart, so don't be coming at me for how I am mixing this. Like I said, we're minding our business on these pages, people. The reason why, I often say this is physical therapy. The actual correct term would be occupational therapy. This is, well, I guess it's a little bit of both, but this is mostly occupational therapy because it focuses on like using my skills with everyday tasks to like perform like baking, dressing myself. Those are occupational therapist type stuff. So this is great OT for my hands, I should say. Where is my spatula? So then you just kind of mix it all together, and then you wash your hands, and with clean hands, you mix it all up. You cut it into 4 pieces, and then you start to roll it out. That is obviously the hardest part for moi. Also, I do have a lap tray, and I was using it earlier, so where she's gone, I do not know. Because normally I bring everything down to my lap level, and that is how I do everything. This kitchen isn't very accessible to me. They've made as many modifications as this home will allow, and we just make the best of it. But exciting news! Next year I am moving to my forever home that should be made fully accessible, and I say should because I obviously deal with insurance because I was in a car accident, so they are the deciding factor of what is allotted to me for the housing expenses and livable like things. But because they've saved so much money the last 4 years keeping me in an inaccessible home, I have a little bit of wiggle room of what they can do, I should say. Oh my goodness, this is gonna make a big mess. My puppies are like watching. This is their favorite time. When Bree is in the kitchen, the puppies are sitting right nearby because they almost always know there's gonna be snacks on the floor for them. And like sometimes when I'm cooking, it'll be like something like an onion, like something that they can't have, so then Ryan has to like tackle them for me. It's a whole experience cooking in this house with me. Okay, I think this is like done enough. I'm just gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna roll it. Oh, j'en ai plus. maybe I'll come by and see if I can. Oh, I see that there's comments. So sorry if I don't know how to answer them. That's, me. I was a nurse for 6 months before my car accident and became an T6. Oh my goodness, fellow nurse in a chair with a spinal cord injury. I am so sorry to hear that, but it is kind of always nice knowing you're like, not alone kind of thing. Did you end up going back to nursing? I would love to know. Oh, thank you so much. I am seeing some of your guys' comments now, and my fingers. Oh, my dogs are gonna start barking. Also, I was supposed to have my Baytech delivered this afternoon, so if all of a sudden I have to go run and there's like empty screens, I'm so sorry. My Baytech is my power assist option. Oh, and for those of you who are like, oh, you just washed your hands and then touched your phone, well, my phone screen did just get clean, but you also have to imagine I also have to touch my wheelchair, so it's as clean as she gonna get. I think there's too much flour. The other thing about this is that they should be sticky. Like the dough obviously should be sticking together. Like it should be fairly sticky, but not enough where it sticks to your hands. Like this is looking pretty dry. So I'm actually gonna add a little bit of water to this. The thing about these is that the next day, I find that they're pretty dry. When you eat them fresh out of the oven, they're so amazing. I still like them. Like they still do taste good. The next day, they're just pretty dry. So I toast them like I would a regular bagel. And this is always the fun part. It's getting back to where I came from with yucky hands. Oh, there come my dogs. You go. What are you doing? No, sorry. You can't lick my hands. Be for real. And like when I say add a little bit, like the tiniest little bit, because when you are cooking with something like this, everything that was maybe, I think maybe half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon. So now it's more the consistency that I need it to be, which is still yuck. It still is gross, but I don't know if Indy is in view, but she is just staring at me like, that doesn't look too bad, Mom. I would eat that. Hi, Indy girl. My hands are a mess. I have also never done a live where I'm like cooking in the kitchen, so this is a brand new thing here for me. And why it's so scatterbrained, because I normally don't do this type of content. I just thought it would be more fun to hang out with you guys while I'm doing everyday things, because I think there's this assumption still, because the comments I get every day is that like I'm so dependent on people. Again, I'm very in terms of spinal cord injuries, I kind of won the spinal cord injury lottery, if you think of it like that, because of the function I have. There are things that I obviously still need help with. There are things that are still gonna come with time and work and that, but I'm independent, I'm mostly independent. And I like to show people that I can still do things, like bake for myself. The only thing about this is that I normally get help to put things in and out of the oven because I burnt myself a few times. Silly, I know, but it is what it is. I think the hardest part of this for me is cutting these into 4 equal parts, because that's a pretty janky one last time. I've shown this in other videos, because this is like a special knife made for people with low hand function, hand strength, I should say, grip strength. So this is a fun exercise I like to do with everyone, because everyone has this skill, I should say, that I'm going to do next. It's called tenodesis. So your grip strength, when I hold things like that, it closes my grip strength for me and makes it really a lot stronger for me. And everyone can do that. So if you're sitting and your hand is flaccid, you'll see that your hand kind of naturally falls open. But if you tilt your wrist back, your fingers will close. So once you do that, that makes a tighter grip strength. And so that's why a lot of people with grip strength problems will use tenodesis to hold on to things. And the reason that is designed the way it is, it's so people with low hand grip can use that and use body mechanics to cut things for them. So that is why this knife is special for me, or anyone with disability, I should say. So I think I'm going to take a little bit from another one. Now the thing is, my hands are pretty sticky. But like, I can't make them any more dry because I'll make the dough dry. So next we'll take it into like little balls like this, and then you make a hole in the middle, and then you just turn them into a bagel. This is actually the part that gets tricky for me. Maybe I should put a little flour on my hand. I am excited though to show you guys more of my trip and like the resort and stuff like that. There's been so many questions about the resort and the accessibility of it. Like, it was okay, like it was decent. Was it great? Not the best I've ever been to if you want a vacation. But it was fairly good. And the video, I'm posting a video later tonight that kind of gives you part one of the accessibility, the beach side of it. But the resort itself, the layout is accessible, I would say. It's just like the little things, like the rooms, certain parts of the resort, because it's attached to 3. I went to Majestic Elegance in Punta Cana. It was our first time doing Punta Cana. So we never know what to expect when we try somewhere new. It's always terrifying. If you're a disabled person in here right now watching this, just trying to get the flour open. If you're a disabled person in here watching this, you know the stress of like traveling anywhere new. Because what is accessible in a lot of these places is not what would be accessible here. What I'm going to try posting later tonight to see if that helps like fix what's going on with my content. I don't know. That's why I'm going to try something new here with the late post. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you poke a hole in the middle and you just go for it. I should be talking to you while I'm doing this, and it is not. I'm not giving what I need to be giving. I'm so sorry. Multitasking, besides in nursing, and I don't know why. I don't know why nursing multitasking was so easy for me to do. I don't know if that's part of brain injury I have or what it was, but like I find multitasking since the accident damn near impossible. So I feel like I'm crushing this right now talking to you guys and baking. I'm doing it. So my bagels are like normally about like that size. Like just the size of the palm of your hand. You can make them bigger or smaller, whatever you'd like. I think that's another thing people don't know about my injuries and stuff like that, is that I actually sustained a brain injury in the car accident. Oh, I've got dough all over my pants. Yep. I don't do laundry, and this is a rhyme problem now. Roll it over the ground now. Yeah, I sustained a brain injury in the car accident. I have a left frontal lobe brain injury that first was overlooked. I suffered a lot of negligent care, and when I'm able to talk more publicly about that, I definitely will. But it wasn't recognized right away. In the scans, it showed, and there was commentary on it, like, you know, that I had, there was intracranial swelling around there, and then a scan a few weeks later showed that the gray and white matter changes were happening already, so that wasn't great, but it really affected my overall, it's mostly, it's me, it's my temperament, I find, that really was affected by that. Like I'm a little ginger, I'm firecracker as it was to begin with, but my impulse control to like be able to like control that rage, it was bad. And like I know very positive to you guys online, but there were a lot of times where there was very angry days here and like I just couldn't control it. So that sucked. Because who doesn't like not being in control of their body and their mind? I find like my memory is also terrible, but that could also just be from the medication. I'm still on so much medication, and a lot of it causes brain fog. So I'm gonna go with that. Oh, I've got dough in my hair. Again, I'm so sorry if you guys are commenting and I'm like. Also, to anyone watching on YouTube right now, you're my first live on YouTube, so I'm really hoping that this is working on there. Don't even know if it's on, don't know if it's, doing what it needs to be doing. Oh my goodness. I also can't wait to tell you guys about, like, I got an accessible room, but in order to get the club level, club level for where I'm staying means it was like adult only. I would not splurge for that as well. In my review, I'm 10 out of 10 explaining why I wouldn't, even if I was able-bodied, I wouldn't do that again. I would use the extra money to go to the Mirage instead. So like it's a series of 3. I didn't know that. So there's the Majestic Colonial, the Majestic Elegance, and the Majestic Mirage, and they're all on the same property. And I didn't know that we had access to all of them until like day 4. We had a butler who never told us anything. We learned everything from other people that were on their trips there. So we go over, and the Mirage, I wouldn't say it was any more grand than ours. The only thing is they had a really nice coffee shop that I'll show you guys that I fell in love with. Coffee at this place only starts at 7 a.m. I'm like a geriatric. I'm up at 5 a.m. Like 5 a.m. And a lot of the Mexican resorts that we stay at, or a lot of them, I've not been to that many, they have like coffee bars that open up at 6 a.m., which is so lovely. If you are a coffee lover, you will get that. And someone said that their shows were better at the Mirage, like they had a different performer and it was like supposed to be better. It wasn't better quality. It was the exact same show. So like the Michael Jackson show was the same at the Mirage, it's the same at the Colonial, all of those things. But because they don't actually have an accessible room at the club level. So there's no accessible rooms in the adult only side of that resort. So I'm so glad. I tried a travel agent for the first time. She was lovely. Her name was Lindsay. And I'm so glad that everything happens for a reason. And I just had this like feeling like we should try one, especially for somewhere new. So if anything goes wrong, not my circus, not my monkey, or whatever it's called there. I'm just seeing this time if I make them like a little bit like bigger, if that like helps them not be so flat. But yeah, because they don't have an accessible room there, this resort did not want to offer the club perks to us. I said, it's okay if I stay in the accessible room, which took me 2 months to secure. That's okay that we're not staying in an upgraded room because those other rooms are supposed to be fancy, right? So I don't care that I'm not in a fancy room, but I'll still pay the extra just so I can be in the adult only area because there was supposed to be like a better beach access is what I was told, and butler service that we've never used and probably won't ever use again. And like adult only like eating area, which wasn't even adult only, it was just like everyone. And like, let me preface, we don't mind kids. We have huge families. We don't hate children. Just we have like really busy, stressful lives. So it's nice sometimes just to go somewhere and like relax without the splash pad. And we always find that the family-friendly side resorts are always like the more fun. They're always the more fun side. They had more music. The pools were always bumping. Like it was very different vibe. But so like we like to relax and we like the option to go and have a little more fun if we want to. So also this, I don't know if you can tell, this is what my little bagels are looking like. They're lovely. So now I'm going to put a little egg wash over them and brush them with that, and then I'm gonna season them. But yes, this resort did not want to give me the club privileges, and I said, it is not my fault. Like, I did not make an accessible room at this resort, and so you're telling me because you didn't make an accessible room, I don't get to have like the privileged services even if I'm willing to pay for them? I was like, do you know how discriminatory that sounds? And like, that's when like email communication stopped, everything stopped. I'm like, oh my goodness, something's gonna happen. Now we're not gonna be able to go there. Should have just accepted it. But the thing about living with a disability, I am very much a person never to rock a boat, never to say nothing about anything. And I have let people walk all over me in this experience. And this year I'm like standing up for myself and like advocating more. And I said, no, I shouldn't have to settle. If I'm willing to pay that, I should be able to go and stay with the other adults. I should be able to go and have access to the other restaurants if I want to pay the extra for the extra restaurants. Like, just because I'm disabled doesn't mean I shouldn't be allowed to. Like, that sounds so crazy. So then I fought, and they finally agreed to give us the club privileges, and my travel agent was the one who fought for it to be cheaper. So it was cheap to begin with anyway. I think it was only $22 extra a day for the club service, so it was a no-brainer. But she got them to move it to 17 because we didn't get to stay in a fancy room and had to walk completely to the other side of the resort to get there, which was fine because it was, like I said, it was a good walk. It was all paved and covered, so we weren't walking through the rain. But it's just like crazy things like that, like things that I've never experienced in my life until I was disabled. It was very eye-opening. Most of this journey has just been eye-opening. I'm gonna crack this egg now, but I'm gonna pay attention because obviously eggs are a little tricky. Well, I think there's only one shell in there, so I think. Oh, and a floof dog here. But what I will say, again, we've never been to the Majestic Resorts before, never been to Punta Cana. That was hands down, though, the best customer service. Well, I would say for the servers, that is the best service and like the kindest, I will say, the kindest staff that I've seen at any resort. They were so enthusiastic about everything. They remember who you were, and so many people we met had been there multiple times. Like, because we went to the adult only side, it's a lot of older couples, and a lot of them, they just said they were returners. Like, this was their 4th, 5th, there was someone who went there for their 12th time. Like, so you know it's a good resort then, and they said every year they came, it's always been good service, and that's why they keep coming back. And that is why if you go on TripAdvisor, their reviews are, I think out of 20,000 reviews, they're 4.5 star resort. It's a little dated, but I mean, like I said, the people made it all worthwhile. I'm just trying to mix this egg up. Illegal, no barking. Oh, that's probably the person to drop off my Baytech because it's been trying to get fixed since the summertime when it originally broke. I sent it, well, it didn't break. I just sent it away to have the like mechanism up front tightened because it was getting loose, and it came back to me and it didn't get to the speeds it's supposed to get. Like, my Baytech goes incredibly fast. It goes 30 kilometers an hour. When it came back, it was barely hitting 20, and I'm like, I didn't even send it there for like anything to do with the speed or the battery. Like, how did this even happen? And it's taken them till now to be able to fix it, so I am excited to see if it's actually fixed. I know a lot of you who are on here right now probably are like avid followers, but if you're new here, my Baytech, if I already said, it's a power assist, so it kind of turns me into a trike. Like, I'm a 3-wheeler basically. a glorified three-wheeler. Also, I am getting this stuff everywhere. All right, now that those are coated, it's time for the sprinkling. What am I gonna do? Oh, I should have grabbed the reacher. Darn it. This rosemary and garlic. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do everything bagel. I really liked this one last time, so I think I'm just gonna use that one. Indie girl, why are we growling? What's going on? No, Indie girl. Hey. So my dogs are like the suckiest, friendliest things ever, but they are very good at alerting me when people are here, so I have enough time to come and meet these people at the door. So it's not like me riding down the stair lift like 5 hours later. So she's great for that. And when there's people that are here, again, lets me know people that we don't want here. I one time had a delivery person come into my house. I was still asleep in the morning, and I thought that you know how sometimes you're asleep and not asleep, and I thought Ryan was left for work, and that's what the sound was, and I was paying no mind to it until Indy started making this sound that I'd never heard her make. It was like this deep growl, and then she just started barking, and I heard the door again, and I'm like, what the heck? I think maybe I'll have to go in a second, just because I think the big tech person might be here. That's why she's trying to tell me. Maybe not. But it was the sound that I'd never heard her make before, so I came out here looking like a little hobo. Good thing I had my PJs on. And then the door opened again, and I'm just like, hello? And he came in, and my dog would not let me get between to the my stair lift. Like, she was between me and him, and she just started growling, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, normally she's very, very friendly. I don't know what this is, and she would never, 10 toes down, these dogs would never bite, so I'm so sorry. I don't know why she's like that. And he was like, oh, well, I came in before, and I saw a wheelchair here. He's like, and I thought maybe I would come back to look to see if the person fell. And I'm like, what? That is weird. That's weird. If I was in a wheelchair and I fell, wouldn't I be right next to my wheelchair? That's weird. And, he was trying to make friendly conversation, but then all of a sudden he was like, oh, are you home alone right now? Are you normally home alone in the mornings? And I'm like, no, right around this time, my caregiver, one of my friends, someone is here. I'm not normally, what a weirdo. And Indy, the entire time when I started to go down the stairs to go and get the package, she just barked the whole time and would not let me get she would not let me get close to him. So I don't know if it was a weird vibe that she got from him, or she got startled because a stranger came into her home and she wasn't expecting that either. Indy girl, what is going on? And to be fair, even when I tell her to stop barking, she just doesn't. Oh, yeah, someone's here. Indy, hey, I hear them. I'm right here. I'm gonna have to just go for a second here. And really, to be fair, this person was supposed to be here 2 hours ago. So if that is them, that is why. I'm just gonna go check. Sometimes she also doesn't, the neighbors kind of creep her out, so I'm also just gonna check that. I'm just gonna move you guys. 1 second. Indy, I'm right here. Do you see? I'm right there. I know I'm busy, but I'm right here. Show me. What do you see? Show me. don't know how to pause lives. Like, I'm gonna just pause you guys. So I don't know. I'm making things up. Can I even pause you? What is this? I don't know the rules. Like, what? I don't, like, I'm not inept. This one screen is so small. Okay. Well, you guys are just gonna have to chill. Except I don't know why he's not coming to the door. Yeah, I see. No, but you stay. Good girl. I see, yep. I'm gonna go, it's okay. Hey, stay. Upstairs. Upstairs. No, upstairs. Good, upstairs. It's cold down here. I'm coming, it just takes me a minute. Hi. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to bring I have 2 dogs, they're very friendly, they will probably come and sniff you, but I'll need you to bring them inside because I don't have access to the garage door. No, upstairs. Up, upstairs, upstairs. And we're gonna have to play a game of Tetris here. I should have gone to the garage, I do believe. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
And then just straight through that door next.
Okay.
And then if you could, oh, sorry, I thought my husband took the car.
That's fine, I can just go like this.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
This right here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's everything you need.
And me as well. Go upstairs, bro. Upstairs. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good day.
You too. Happy holidays.
Oh, thank you. Happy holidays. See? Just like that. You're being a leader, but it's okay. Yeah. I like BB. You want to come say hi too? Yeah, I like BB. Hi. You want to come say hi too? Here's a good BB. Except I'm not going to give you a treat for that one because you didn't listen. You're supposed to stay barking, remember? Alright, I'm back. I don't know if y'all are still here, but I'm back. Oh, I just crunched my fingers. Ouch. Hello! I am back. Welcome back to the regular programming of this crazy life. My Baytech's back! Oh, I also see I have comments here again. Let me read through some of these. I'm like reading through some of the like comments about like when I was talking about my medical care. Canada has great medical care to keep you alive. It is great for your life, but they don't give a crap about your quality of life after they've saved the life is the problem. Follow-up care, it can take up to a year to get urgent MRIs. Urgent MRIs you can be on a waiting list for a year. We've had a lot of people in our family who have had cancer, but we're waiting for their surgeries to get it removed. Like it's a kind of a mess here. I'm sure it's kind of a mess everywhere, but when people think that Canadian healthcare is the end-all be-all of healthcare, also, whatever happens next, if I burn myself, no, I didn't. It's no one's business. Remember, we're minding our business here. Oh boy. Nailed it. Jesus, places. is a workout and a half. I will also consider that physical therapy, not me using my abs. I am making cottage cheese bagels. It's just cottage cheese and flour. So you use 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1 cup of self-rising flour. If you don't have self-rising flour, you use 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a little bit of salt. Mix that all together. Cook them at 375. Honestly, I don't remember the time. The time is on my phone, so right now we're eyeballing it. I put a 12-minute timer. I think it was like 20 minutes, but that dough was pretty dry because I spent too long talking, so I'm gonna cook it for a little bit less time. You put a little egg wash over it. I use this rosemary garlic stuff. When we went to the States, we're spice people in this house. We love sauces and spice. I have an entire cupboard dedicated to sauces that we still have to try. This is one of the best. It's just rosemary garlic seasoning, and I love it so much. It's really fragrant. It's beautiful. Love it. And then we got to try that Kinder's like sauce. We tried the Japanese, is it Japanese teriyaki or something? I can eat that on everything. You could literally cover a turd, and I would eat that with sauce with that Kinder stuff. We don't have that here in Canada. We don't have none of the good stuff in Canada. I also bought a bunch of like those sweet cream foamers. Now we have them, except they're like $9. I guess it doesn't really matter because when I bought them in the States, the exchange was no better. Oh, that's lie. It was a little better when I did the exchange there. Oh, I am gassed now. That's like what I mean. Endurance for me is a problem, and like being able to do all of those things. Something like this, I would have been able to bake, go and do the laundry, fold laundry, then maybe go and do a workout after, go to work. Like, I had so much like power to go and do things. It's just stupid how easily you get exhausted. And I know anyone else sitting in a wheelchair or any kind of disability will get that. Also, if I'm like obnoxiously close to you guys, it's because again, my eyes don't work great. They're a little lazy. So if I'm close and you see them wandering around, no, you didn't. Is that working? I don't know. I really need to check this on my phone, and I wonder if I scroll out of here, if it closes. If this closes on YouTube, I'm so sorry. I genuinely need to know how long I'm supposed to cook these things for. Oh no, it's asking me if I want to start a poll. There we go. There we go. Figured it out. Also, not my 17 and 11 people strong. Love it. Love the energy, guys. That is what I mean. Like, I have like these huge followings, and obviously this is like a weird time to be going live. But I have these huge followings, and like what I see on, again, I think there must be some kind of glitch on my my stuff right now, because I see that like I'll have like 20 views on a post. That also makes it like hard for me to like, because editing is like so much work for me and like so much extra work. I think that's sometimes why it's just like, well, no one's seeing this content anyway, so I'm not gonna stress myself out and give myself a headache for content people aren't gonna see right now. And it's not like for the views, it's not like I need to go viral, it's not for that, it's for the fact that like it does take me a lot of work to do it. And I have tried it on the computer. I've tried it on CapCut on the computer, and like maybe it's because I'm like technology like challenged. I find it way harder on the computer. It's a bigger screen, which is easier on my eyes, but like to be able to use the cursor, to be able to like, it's weird. And like obviously if I practice more, I would be better at it, and maybe I should, but yeah, when I'm seeing like 20 people are watching this, and I love that. I love the 20 people that got to see it. Just like, oh, it's like so much work. And like I shot a lot of content when I was like on my trip, which it like you can wheel around with your phone. That's no work at all, but it just like, I want to be a lizard. I just want to lay on the ground and do nothing, you know? And I think maybe we're going on another trip for Ryan's birthday. We've never done anything like that, so we're doing that at the end of the February, and I think I might just go live instead there. Like, if the internet connection where we were this last time was fairly good, I think, and if the internet connection is as good as it can be at this other resort, then I think I'll just go live instead. I feel like taking you guys in real time and showing you the resort, showing you the beach, and it kind of gives you guys like a sense that you're there with me. I know, I have SAD, so I have seasonal depression. So the moment the sun isn't here, I live in Canada and minus 40, can't go outside, it's miserable. So I know when I am living in my winter months, I like to watch people's lives when they're on vacation. So I don't know if that's a thing like other people like to do, but I just like to watch the sun and the water. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, I am, but it is what it is. Sorry, I'm just like trying to like, I don't know how to, if someone on here has ever done Instagram live, how does it work? Because if y'all are commenting, all I'm seeing is that like people have joined. So the 12 of you are on there, it just shows me that you joined. It doesn't actually, like, I don't see your comments. So is there a way to only show comments and not the who's joined? Love that you guys are here. That's not what I mean. I just like, because it's so hard for my eyes to focus, it would be nice just to be able to see just the comments. So if you know how to work this, let you go know. Oh, somebody, I did see over here. Somebody else, I was making cottage cheese bagels. Very easy. I just had a bunch of endometriosis removed out of my body. And the doctor, well, the doctors and the urologists for a long time have been saying I need to go on an anti-inflammatory diet. Hi, Nicole. Hey, sweet pup. Oh, where's that? Oh, where's that? Oh, there's a good one. Oh, there's a good baby. There's a good one. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Puppy love. Oh, just like that. Don't know what we're talking about. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. I don't know what we were just talking about. Maybe one of you could let me know. I'm literally just trying to look through a comment to see if anybody, you said you just had endometriosis. Oh, perfect. And I was supposed to, both the urologist and my endometriosis specialist, they've been recommending an anti-inflammatory diet. I am a sugar addict. I know it. And I know it's one of the worst things. I know. From a healthcare side, I know. But why is it so good? I have such a bad sweet tooth. You best believe on my last day in Mexico, or the Dominican, I had 2 donuts for breakfast in my coffee, in my cappuccino with sugar. I was on like a little sugar high. I think I was like wheeling around like a little, like I was, I don't want to say, but yeah, it was lovely. And it's also miserable all at the same time. Like I can eat basically, like, I can eat anything I want, just nothing with like refined sugar and nothing like, for me, I've always had like an intolerance to gluten. I'm not celiac. It's just every time I eat flour, I get a lot of GI upset, and I get a weird like rash all over my body. So I just stay away from it. But like no gluten, no like heavy carbs, big thing is the processed foods. There's so many processed foods. So anything you can throw in the air fryer, take that out. It's very just like fresh foods. And like, yes, I know it's good for me. It's just like exhausting to like make my meals, if that makes sense. And like Ryan already does a lot of other work, so I don't want him to have to be making 2 separate meals, so I try my best to do it myself. But like I said, this was exhausting, and I'm so excited that I have enough left over. I made sweet potato butternut squash like bisque. It's like creamy and well, I didn't actually use the cream because it was so thick and delicious. So I made that the other day, and I'm gonna use my fresh bagels to dip that in there. But yeah, so it's like miserable. I also see like I feel like my TikTok FBI agent always knows what's up. Like after this live, I'm sure I'm gonna get 5,000 recommendations. But I see the carnivore diet all the time on TikTok right now. I think it's like a refined version of what keto is, um, and apparently that like is a perfect anti-inflammatory diet. I just like don't. I know that that's not a sustainable like kind of diet for myself, and so I don't know the long-term effects of like just eating all that like heavy like meat and fat and stuff like that. What that will do when I stop that diet. So this diet, at least, it's a little bit harder, but like at least I get to eat a little bit more things. I eat a lot of cottage cheese right now. Dairy is, I know there's gonna be people like, oh, dairy is inflammatory. Dairy is only considered inflammatory if you have sensitivities to dairy. Dairy can be part of an anti-inflammatory diet if you don't have sensitivity to it, and I don't, so that was great. But the purpose of it is apparently to help with pelvic inflammatory. I have I also have interstitial cystitis, so my bladder gets irritated. The lining between my bladder and the outside gets really irritated, and it mimics the sensation of like a UTI, and it feels like glass inside my abdomen, which is, you know, as lovely as it comes. All right, I think that's right. So this is supposed to help with that, and I suffered with so many UTIs. Like the year leading up to the wedding, so like 2022, 2023, the worst UTIs of my life. Like I'm not talking like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm talking like I was treated 22 times 1 year for UTIs because they couldn't clear, and then IV antibiotics all the time, and it does not matter how clean. Obviously, I have to use a catheter to go to the bathroom. That's just what happens. Obviously, you can introduce bacteria to your bladder every time, and it didn't matter how clean I was being. There's only so sterile you can be at home without sterile supplies. But they don't think it was that. They think my bladder just stayed inflamed and irritated, and so that makes a really cozy medium for bacteria, and then it just became colonized, so it like attached to my bladder wall. It was a whole thing. It was annoying. I was very sick that year. That was the year that I lost all the weight, and they said it could have been from disuse atrophy, and it happens normally around the 2 and 3 year mark when you lose a bunch of weight. And I was also sick, so I think that was the catalyst to all the weight loss. Like it wasn't intentional, not by any means. And honestly, when I was bigger, like when I think at my heaviest, when I first started with my spinal cord injury meds, they make you gain a little bit of weight. And so I think at my heaviest, I was 132 pounds post-injury. That's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Wasn't a big deal because I had lady bumps where I never had lady bumps before. Loved it. And then I got sick and I lost a bunch of weight. The biggest thing that annoys me about it is when I had a little bit more cushioning, I didn't get pressure sores. I am like OCD about offloading the weight and shifting the weight. This right now, us talking, is probably one of the longest times I go without like shifting and getting the weight off my bum, because it takes no time to create a pressure sore. And as a previous nurse, I know how bad pressure sores can get. I've seen far too many of them, and I've seen some so severe they will never heal. So, and bed sores are one of the leading causes of I don't want to say in people living with spinal cord injuries. So I am very OCD about like being better about it. But when I lost all this weight, like my bum bone obviously sticks out a lot more, and the backs of my hips rub against my chair because my chair hugs me to keep me upright. Those bones started sticking out a lot more, so they're constantly bruised, and like it kind of looks at first like I don't know how you explain it. Like if you were to like, I guess, pinch your arm and it leaves like that kind of like purpley kind of bruise under the skin with like red marks, and it kind of starts like that when it's rubbing, and then when it's too much pressure it stays red, and when you go to like push on it, it doesn't blanch. So this last week I took a lot of time off my bum because she was looking pretty red. Because the flights, I was delayed on the airplane for 2 hours. I hate being on the airplane as it is. Plus, WestJet bought out all of or Sunwing, WestJet, they bought out all of the swoop planes. So those little charter planes are meant to hot provinces and not freaking go to different countries. And they're so tight and tiny, and the seats are so uncomfortable as it is. Even when I was able-bodied, I hate those planes. So I was delayed on the 2 hours on the way in, and then an hour on the way back, I believe. It was just anarchy. Also, at the Punta Cana airport, it wasn't they don't board the disabled people first. It is everyone to the gate, and when we open it, the first one to the plane gets on. Honestly, I don't care that I'm not first. It's less time for me to sit, so I did enjoy that. It only creates a problem because I hold Ryan like this. He holds me around my waist and my legs dangle, and he'll carry me to my seat like that. One, I do not trust the airport staff with the Washington chairs, the transfer chairs. I've had a terrible experience with that. And then when we landed in Punta Cana, they refused to let Ryan carry me off the plane. They flat out lied to Ryan on the tarmac because he landed on the tarmac there. Ryan was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wait for my wife's wheelchair, one, to make sure that it is in functional condition before you guys try to put her in it, and then I'm gonna go back, get her, and get her stuff. And they said, yep, no problem, the wheelchair should be at the front of the line or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Ryan said he saw them coming up the ramp with the aisle chair, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And he's like, well, that's how she's getting off the plane. He's like, no, these people, they spoke English. I want to make it very clear, they spoke English. And so there's no way that was miscommunicated. And when there was only one man using the Washington chair. That's the little aisle chair they make you sit on, they buckle you in, and they move you out of the airplane. And I was like, no, this is what I mean about the advocating, not letting people just walk over me. I know safety now. I know I have to be responsible for keeping myself safe because I know these people won't, and I've experienced it firsthand. So I said, no, I'm not getting into that chair unless two of you are here at least, because I said, I want my husband, and they kept telling me no. It was their policy that he wasn't allowed to reboard the plane after he had got off. But I said then, well, who's bringing out all of our stuff? He was like, well, we'd have to get someone to come and get it. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But I was, again, so blessed. One of the flight attendants, he spoke Spanish and was telling him, no bueno, would say something to him. And he was pointing at the chair. He was like, don't worry, I got you. And he kept trying, the employee in Punta Cana kept trying to be it's fine, it's fine. And he's trying to explain to me, it is not okay. This is not safe. This is not what we're doing. So finally another person came on there. They had no idea what they were doing. It was like deja vu would happen at the beginning of the year, and I started to have a panic attack, and I'm telling them I want off this chair. I want off, and I want my husband to come and get me. It would take no time. He should have my wheelchair now. Now I can see Ryan's down there fighting with people because now they're telling them they're not bringing out my wheelchair. It was a whole thing. So finally I just okay, at least the ramp system isn't closed. They're not having to carry me downstairs, and I will show them how to buckle me in because they don't know what they're doing. So I instructed them and taught them how to properly buckle me into this chair. And then when we got off the plane, Ryan never raises his voice. Ryan never gets excited over anything. And I could see him now he was like, I want a manager here right now. And I'm like, oh God, what has transpired down here? And he was like, they're wanting you to go on this transfer chair. It's one of those airport, not even a wheelchair. You know the ones that's got you have to hold in the back and push. It's got 4 little wheels, nothing to hold on to. And he's trying to explain to them, she doesn't have the core strength to sit on that. One, look at that hard seat. What are you saying? Are you saying you don't have her wheelchair? And they just kept saying they weren't bringing it to me. They weren't bringing it to me. I had to go in that chair. So I just chilled in the Washington chair, and then all of a sudden the captain comes, he starts, I heard, no, this isn't okay. And who brings the wheelchair? The captain. So bless him for being there. And, at least the staff from, Sunwing, they, profusely apologize. But, it's just this whole lack of, awareness. And, I understand policies are different in certain places. But if your staff don't even know how to properly execute your policies safely, that's not okay. And I've learned in this experience now that I can say no. I can say no if I am at risk and my life is in jeopardy, and it's just like so crazy what airports can get away with and it to be okay. Sorry, I'm just like trying to catch up on comments that they're like mixed in there. Yeah, it's just like a whole thing, you know? So getting back onto the airplane though was like, I was the last one to board, and it was nice because then I just got to like watch the sunset a little bit. Had just started setting. I didn't mind. I got to sit in the warmth a little bit longer. I'm sure Ryan was sweating, but I was cozy. And we kept trying to explain. They're like, go on. And I'm like, I have to wait till the aisle is clear because Ryan can't just be stuck there hanging around while people are putting their luggage in that way. And then we go to get on the plane. Now they're telling me that my seat is gone. So if you're a quadriplegic, most of the time they will get you to sit against the window seat because if there's turbulence, your companion or yourself has an easier time to brace so you're not falling into the aisle or flopping to the person sitting next to you. So it's window seat for us. So, and it was on my ticket, it was on my special assistance thing, it was everywhere. And we got on the plane, they're like, well, that seat's taken, that whole row. And I'm just like, where are we supposed to? They wanted us to go all the way to the back of the airplane. That is not okay either because that's where Ryan would have had to carry me. But we were, I don't know, maybe she'll be in here. I have been trying to find this woman. She was just the most amazing person I've ever met, and I will tell you all about her. I just need to focus to get these out of here now. Ryan was already supposed to be home. I thought he was going to be able to do this, so I just have to be safe about this, sorry. I actually think that I could cook them a little longer. We'll do like 3 more minutes. But there was this woman on the airplane. I don't know, she was probably younger than me. She was the most, everything happens for a reason. She was a nurse. And so when I was profusely apologizing to her, like, because also I feel bad, like, if that was like she booked that ticket and they made a mistake on their end, so like I'm so sorry. And because Ryan then had to go back and help unload and take apart my wheelchair to bring it back down there, I was like struggling to get over my seat. I'm tired now from a day of travel, and this nurse, I was like so embarrassed because I hate to struggle in front of other people. But she was like, I'm a nurse, it's okay, like, do not apologize, it's okay. And she like scooted my legs over, my shoes had fallen off, she had brought them back over to me and helped get me situated. And we just started talking. She was a nurse at the hospital that I went to after my accident. And like, even now, like, we just like talked back and forth about like how the care I received made perfect sense. And she was just like so amazing. We talked over Ryan, we just talked for like 3 hours. She wasn't feeling very good, so she started reading, and I fell asleep for a lot of that flight. And then she was talking with Ryan. Ryan was like, she was so lovely. And I have the memory of a freaking Dory from Finding Nemo, and I think her name was Leanne or Leah. It was something with an L, I think, I hope. But she was just so lovely. And I think sometimes in life you meet people you're supposed to. And obviously, I think I have a voice that carries without even realizing it, probably because my husband's so loud, I've had to learn to be loud. And there was another woman sitting in front of us who was equally as loving. Her name was Darlene, I believe. Doreen? No, Doreen. And she was like, I'm sorry, I listened to that whole thing, your whole story, and she's like, you're just so inspiring, and you're a miracle. Like, it's hard for me to accept when people say things like that to me. I don't know what to say back, so I just said, like, thank you so much. Like, I'm just doing the best I can. I'm just surviving now. Like, that's the best I can do, and that's what I'm doing. And she, like, shared her story with me, and she has a crazy story. I'm not going to share it because it's not mine to tell, but it was equally heartbreaking as it was beautiful. And again, like there have been times in this journey where I've gotten really big doses of perspective, and that day was one of them. It was lovely. Also, Ryan is now home, so he can take these things out of the oven. See, perfect timing. I needed to cook them a little longer. My nails look cute. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. There's flour all over them. I'm gonna show you first. Do you see they're like sparkly and green? Do you see the sparkle detail? I did that. I did that all by myself. I did that. I do my own nails. To be fair, these are like glue-on nails. I use the TikTok viral like nail glue. 10 out of 10 recommend that to my friend. Anyone in here who's got dexterity problems, hand problems, I've made a little video. It's not that great because how to do nails and do a video at the same time, but you just glue them on. And for the fine, like for things like that, like I've got good grip strength. I've gotten good at it, but for stuff like that, I just put it in my mouth and I just use my mouth. It works way better and it saves my hands for later. So loved it. But yeah, did these myself. They don't really match. I'm not going to show them. The set of nails, they're more like cousins. They're not twins. They don't match because obviously doing the left side is significant, or using my left hand is significantly harder. So they never quite look the same, but that right hand or the left hand, I'm going to show day and night because I'm so proud. Oh no, Ryan's home, but he's not coming in. The bagels. Okay, well, he's probably gonna get cranky at me for doing the oven when he's not here. Oh, I shouldn't put that on. Oops. I have a terrible habit because everything I just bring down to my lap. So I have a terrible habit of putting things on my lap. Like if that looked like that was on my lap, like that, it barely did. Don't worry. Don't be telling Ryan if you're my friends or family in here, you little rats. I'll show you guys. I'll put this so I can wheel toward you. Oh, he's gonna come in and see me use the oven and he's gonna be pissed. This is what they look like. I feel like they're not as I didn't make them as round as I did last time. I should have made them like I said, the hole bigger. Probably gonna be pretty dense this time because I was supposed to cook them right away, but I like to talk instead, so here we are. Going for choir practice? Well, you have a fun time. I just see your comments right here. Recipe. Oh, Megan, this is the easiest. This is a blessed baking day for us because it's literally, well, I say 2 ingredients, but if you have self-rising flour, it's 2 ingredients. The only other ingredient you need is baking powder. For everyone who wants to know, I'm gonna slow down my talking because I know I talk too fast. Get a pen out, get a paper, get something to write it down. I'm gonna explain the recipe. It's very easy. Those are cottage cheese bagel. 2 ingredients if you have self-rising flour. So you're gonna use 1 cup of cottage cheese, like the 2%. I don't know if it comes in other, but 2% is what I use. You blend that. 1 cup of self-rising flour. If you don't have self-rising flour, you have to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt because that's what makes it rise. Then you mix the dough all together and you cut it in. The ball will be like this big. It makes 4 makes 4 bagels about that size. You cut it into 4, you form little balls, you poke a hole in it, then you just roll them out and make it into your own donuts, or I see I'm having a sugar withdrawal, I'm thinking about donuts, into your size of bagel, and then you can do an egg wash if you want. I definitely recommend because it would be hella dry and yucky without it. You put that on top and you season it as much as you want with whatever you want, and you cook it for 20 minutes at 375, and boom, you got little bagels. They're definitely better day one, I will say that, because they're really fluffy and moist, I find, on day one. The next day, they are dry. They're really dense, obviously, it's just flour and cheese that's in there. So I like to just cut them in half. Well, those are hard for me to cut, so I get around to pre-cut them. But then we toast them. You just toast them, and you put whatever you want on there, and they're delicious. Ryan, are you there? Right, guy? Indy, where's Dad? Where'd Ryan go? Oh, outside? Okay. Yes, I know. Thank you. I'm trying to read your comments. Like, I need to figure this out because, like I said, if there are comments in here, only like 1 or 2 will pop up. Everything else is just who has joined your live, which is lovely. Welcome. That's beautiful. But I would like to know if I could shut that off just so I could read comments, because my eyes, that's not part of their journey, you know? That's not what they were made for anymore, anyway. What's everyone's plans for Christmas? If you celebrate Christmas, the holidays, what are your plans for the holidays? Does anyone else have a wild amount of gatherings? It starts for us this weekend, and it doesn't stop till I think the 2nd of January. I'm already exhausted thinking about it. I love it. I love seeing the people. I love being around. I'm like feral because I've been trapped in my house for 4 years. I'm like, you're lucky if I don't sniff you in public and do what my dogs do. We are learning from each other at this point. So I love seeing people, but my like social battery now is like so like, I used to be a person, like if I wasn't around people, I would go find people. Like I could interact with anyone. I wasn't shy. I could fit in any group of people, and I loved being around people. I think that's probably one of the reasons I also love nursing. You were never alone, and there was always someone to talk to. And I just loved being around people, and my social battery was 1000%. Now I'm lucky if it's at like 15%, which is just like sad. So like a lot of times I do, obviously you push through, but it's like when you get home, and I don't know if anyone else is like that. Like it's once I get home, all of that like comes out. Like I'm normally very irritable when I get home, and I feel bad for Ryan. Ryan often sees the worst parts of me, and I feel so bad for that. And it's because this is like my safe space. This is like my, like the only place I have really, right? So he often sees, I don't always direct it at him. It's not like that. It's just like, you don't want to be around a cranky person. I'm sure there's other people who feel like that too. Oh, Megan. Also, like, Megan is in here. She's so lovely. She's, when I'm constantly talking about my work friend, she's who her or Jenna is probably who I'm referring to, mostly her. She's just like lovely. I know you're not gonna like me talking about you, but you're lovely. And I also don't know what party you're talking about. I was probably invited. I probably said I was going to go. Don't know what the party is. You better let me know the date, because if it's coming up, I need to know. No, I don't have any internal hardware. I was fixated in a halo for 4.5 months, and then I was in a rigid collar for, I think it was a full 2 months. My neck was fully immobilized for 7 months. 7 months. So I had a goofy looking little bobblehead after, but I managed to get away from that without having any hardware. However, now I wish they would have just put the hardware in my neck when I was more stable, because I have so many problems. I destroyed the ligament and the tendon in my neck, so like got good function, good range of motion, except for backwards. Backwards, my head just snaps back like a baby, so sometimes I wish that. And my lower spine. When I was doing all of my walking therapy for my wedding, near the end, Like my back pain was out of this world. It hurt just as equally bad, not the same 2 weeks after I broke it, but like within the first like few months of me breaking my back, that is how bad my back was hurting. And so I had to go for more scans. I was on non-weight bearing activities, and that's when they said like you don't have like the discs here. You it's like bones rubbing on bones. Like I've developed osteoarthritis in there. I can't pronounce the kind of arthritis that's in there. It starts with a A, and they're like, you're at such a risk because I take so many medications that like decrease like my bone density, and because I don't stand, fun fact, standing, walking, weight bearing is what helps with bone density. They were so afraid I was gonna cause stress fractures in my back, and they didn't think me continuing walking for my wedding was going to be a good idea. And it doesn't matter what my therapist or my doctor told me to do. I just did it, grunted down, bared it. Like, you want to be a good patient. But that was the first time I showed like true, like, absolutely not. I have worked too hard for this, break my back again. Honestly, what are we doing? Who cares? This was a goal I had, and like if they would have fixated my lower spine, I would have had enough like stability in my spine to be able to, get my shit together. No date yet, I don't think. Okay, perfect. I thought maybe she had already planned something, and I'm like, oh my god. I've probably offered to bring 7 things, and now I'm not knowing if I can go. You're from the UK, oh my goodness. I also love when people tell me when they're from. There's so many people. Like, TikTok is one of my favorite places because there's so many people in there from all over the place. Like, Belgium, all these like crazy places, and I love to know where people are from because it's so crazy that I'm like hanging out with people across the world. So, hello. We have Ryan's big family Christmas, we have my big family Christmas, and oh my goodness, I offered to like be in charge of the games this year, and we're doing like the TikTok style like games and stuff like that, but we got a gag gift, or I found a gag gift that I can't talk about in case my family or friend, like their kids are in there, and it's like unbelievable. It's unbelievable is what it is, and I can't wait. I don't even know if I'm gonna share it because I don't know if that's gonna like be a thing, but it is outstanding. I think one of the games is gonna be like everyone like pitches in some money, and then I buy a bunch of like gifts, and that's what you get. It's like gift cards and like scratch tickets, things like that. But the other game is gonna be like gag gifts, kind of, and nobody knows what they're gonna get. Well, I guess except for me, but can't wait. I love the games. I love family. I love like. I love family. I grew up with, like being around my family almost every day, like my whole family, and I love them so much. So I think that's what makes the holidays special for me. It's just like being at my granny's house and like the traditional granny food and like the games and just like being with my family. We are a very close-knit family, and so it's one of my most favorite things. I'm not like a big Christmas girly either. I'm like a Halloween girly. I like Thanksgiving. Christmas has just become like so like exhausting and so expensive, and like it's just like I think really lost its meaning in a lot of ways, and so it's just like exhausting. The decorating, my house isn't even decorated. I don't even have pictures on my walls. People want me to be putting up Christmas decorations. I don't even have my Christmas tree up right now, and we're hosting a Christmas gathering. Oopsie. We'll do it. We will do it. I'm just trying to read your comments. All I'm seeing for the comment there is that you're staying home this year preparing for spine surgery. Well, is that a good thing for you, or is this like not a great thing? Is it fixing you? Because if so, I'm like happy that you're having that done, but I'm so sorry about the recovery and any pain that comes with that. So I'm wishing you the best of luck and best of health into the new year. Loved your spirit from a short that showed up. I subscribed and watched your videos. You're such a sweetheart with great personality. Happy holidays. Oh my goodness. I don't know who you are, but thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you. Also, Megan, if you're still in here, your chat head is popped up on my phone. So I know you've sent me a message, I just can't open it. Hopefully I will be able to walk again after. Oh, that's amazing! That's such great news. I'm so happy for you. Oh yeah. What time is it? Oh! It is late. Also, okay, so for when you're cooking your bagels, it is 20 minutes. My oven is give or take 5 or 10 minutes, so you really have to watch. So at first, the 3 extra minutes looked really good. They're really nice and golden. But obviously, when you're cooking things and baking things, they still obviously continue to cook because they hold that heat. So I would still just keep it around 20. Keep it as golden as you like it, but keep in mind, again, they are dry the next day. I can't wait to dip it in soup. I'm such a granny. I'm such an old person. Oh, now Ryan's here. I also don't know what the battery. These phones don't carry a really great battery. So Instagram, you were on the Galaxy Z Flip, and YouTube, you were on my Galaxy Ultra. It's a 22. I'm waiting for the 25 to come out. Yes, I'm a Galaxy girly. Get at it in the comments, whatever. But my videos, the quality of them is normally pretty A1, so that's why I use them. And it's just easier for me to use now because I know how they all work. But I tried the flip phone because of the accessibility of it, and it's so nice because it's so small and it fits so good in my hand. The Galaxy is like holding a freaking tablet. It's big, it's bulky. I keep losing the pop socket off of it. So for accessibility wise, the Ultra is incredibly hard to deal with, and I hate that they don't put their good cameras in the smaller version of these phones. You have to get these big bulky ones to get the like premium level camera, which is so annoying. So for accessibility, 10 out of 10 recommend the Flip. The camera on the back is the same quality of the camera that's on the back of my Galaxy Ultra, but the inside camera, I think it's because it's a flip screen, it's not as good quality, it's pretty pixelated. The only good thing is that you can, when you close the phone until it's like a little square, that you can use the outside screen to toggle through, see yourself, but it only works that way either with straight recording a video, like a regular video, or if you have like a fancy app. Like I have an app that I can use Instagram from the front screen, but really that phone, like the idea of the front screen was so cool, but I never use it, except for like right now, or when I was shooting videos so I could see, because if you do like selfie version on the Ultra, obviously you use the good camera on the front, you can see everything that's happening. So pros and cons to both, I guess, but I think I'm still gonna stick with the Ultra, just overall function of it and the ability to be able to use the front camera when I need to. So I'm just like looking at your comments. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm gonna wait to the 25 so I can get the one with the upgraded camera. And Ryan bought me a beautiful like vlogging camera. It's just the only thing about that is that again, it's another device I have to carry, and then I have to transfer all of the stuff, and it takes forever to transfer everything then to my phone because my phone is where I do all the editing. So it's just like an extra process, but the quality when it works is great. I've been having a few problems with it here and there where it like doesn't want to like focus. Like in the last set of pictures I posted on Instagram on like my main account, like my personal account, you can see a few of them that were supposed to be our nice pictures. They're kind of like blurred out. I'll just ever so slightly, like the nice ones where Ryan and I are wearing like just like white linen. So I really like to try to reshoot those in Mexico if there's a nice place to be able to do those. So, because Ryan and I, the only time we've ever had professional pictures taken was from this lovely photographer here in Mitchell, Chef's Kiss. She's gold. That's Kate Elizabeth. Photography here. She was amazing. She took pictures for us. And then obviously my wedding pictures, Oats and Honey did those. And I had a photo shoot for the catheter company that I ambassadored for, and that was the first time, like, we didn't have engagement pictures, we had nothing. And we were talking about it, like, this is our first time. She's like, well, what about your engagement pictures? And we said, well, we don't have any of those. They don't go here. And she's like, well, I'll take some extra today. Like cold, like, obviously they'll be separate from Coloplast, and I'll just give them to you guys. And I, like, such generosity, because people pay thousands of dollars for professional pictures, and they were so cute. We took them at the Forks. We love the Forks. And, like, again, everything kind of works out when it needs to work out, I think. It's like a weird, world's weird like that. Oh my goodness. I need to probably get out of my chair for a little bit though. But it was super fun to hang out with you guys. I haven't done the TikTok live in a hot minute either. Maybe later tonight, that's where I'll go. I just, like, never go live on YouTube, and I never go live on Instagram, obviously. One, clearly I don't know how to use them, but we will get better at this. And I will dedicate just to one at a time next time. And hopefully, like, the stuff starts, my, like, content starts showing up on your guys' pages again. So many people, like, have reached out to me, and, like, I think they think, like, I'm unwell, and then they see I have content on my page, and, like, oh, well, we don't see your content, we need to find you, we have to, like, look it up, and all these things, or they're just, like, actually not seeing the things that I posted, so I'll have to, like, screenshot and be like, this is posted, you're not blocked, you can't see this. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's something still from when I got hacked, or, like, I've uninstalled the apps, I've reinstalled them, which, amazing, because I have a terrible memory for all of these funky new passwords. I don't write them down because, God forbid, someone should get a hold of that. Like, it's exhausting. But yeah, tonight I will be posting my part 1 to the accessibility review of the beach part of the resort. I have part 2. I thought I was so proactive today, I got 2 of them done. But yeah. So hopefully those videos pop up for you. If they don't, just give them a search. YouTube, I can only do minute-long shorts, so you guys are just gonna have to wait for the long form version of that, or go to my Instagram and follow that. But yes, thank you guys. Please go and interact with any one of my, like, posts, so then hopefully it, like, shows Instagram and YouTube and all of the places that, like, I'm still a human being, I'm still here. I'm not being hacked right now. I think maybe that's what the problem was. Oh, good. Now I have some more comments. I'm a Galaxy girly too. Yes, we love it. Oh, that's such a great question, Evan. So Evan is asking, what is the best way for your fans and supporters to support you and your mission to spread awareness, SCI awareness? Do I have a GoFundMe or anything like that? So I do have a GoFundMe, but I don't need money. What I would really like, though, is if you can just learn from my page and learn from the things I'm saying. And if you find that you've learned anything from those videos, you share those videos. I think that is the best way to spread awareness. I do a lot of educational videos on my pages. Ryan's just taking the girls for a walk. That's what that sound was. I do a lot of educational videos, and I put a lot of work into the chalkboard. I do all of that. It can take me up to 3-4 days to do it, but all of the videos with the chalkboard stuff, I did that. Obviously, it's not the most artistic. You have to use your abstract mind to understand it, but it's there. It's pretty good. And just, yeah, I think just, like, spreading that awareness or learning yourself helps too. Like, there's a lot of things about spinal cord injuries that I didn't know about as a nurse. As a nurse, you learn a lot of things, or a little bit about a lot of things. And so unless you specialize in an area, you don't really know a lot of those things. And I worked with a man who had a spinal cord injury before I became a nurse. And even, like, it's very different, obviously, being a patient. You learn a lot of things that you don't learn just being a caregiver. And some of it's shocking to me. And one of my favorite things is that I've been able to help teach a lot of my healthcare friends, and, like, nursing. I got to speak at a nursing event just to give a little bit more perspective on how you're treating these patients when they come in, explaining what autonomic dysreflexia is. A lot of nurses don't know that. I've explained it a lot to the ER the local ERs where I live. when I've had to go and had some bad blood pressures. Yeah, things like that. I also have other teaching supplies in uh, my Amazon wish list, like a whiteboard. I have my whiteboard in there and some new like markers, like chalk markers and things. I would love that, so I don't have to always draw on the chalkboard because I have to use my standing. I don't have a traditional standing frame. I have a zine, works but hurts my back. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. You don't have to. Again, I would just like it if you watched the videos, learned, and maybe shared it with your friends so they could learn. And just like the overall awareness, a lot of people think quadriplegics cannot move their arms. Quadriplegics can't move their hands or stand or do anything like that. And I've been putting together a bunch of clips of different people I've met throughout this journey who are quadriplegics at different levels and at like different functions and deficits. So it's so interesting to know that like there are quadriplegics who can walk. I know one who bodybuilds, who is recovered. He got told he was never going to be able to move from the collarbone down again, and that he was going to be like fed all of the things for the rest of his life. He'd be bound. That boy walks. He bodybuilds. He's won a bunch of things. He's a golfer now, I believe. Like he's amazing. And he lives where I live, which is even more outstanding. I met two other ladies who are walking quadriplegics, and it shocks a lot of people. So it's mostly YouTube. I could wind it up on there. There's so many comments on like my swimming videos that like, oh, you're not a quadriplegic. Like, you're misleading us. I'm just like, what? Misleading? And like constantly having to do the education and try not to be salty. I will get salty at people when they're like, you don't even know your own injury, blah, blah, blah. It's like when a stranger, and the information that they're trying to like share is all wrong. Then my little spicy side comes out. Like you're not gonna go on someone's page with a disability and be like, oh, I know your injury better than you, blah, 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 when clearly everything they're saying is wrong. No, I'm gonna go at you. We're gonna have a little go in the comments then. So YouTube is a far worse place for that. I think there's probably a lot of those comments on like TikTok and Instagram that I can't see because I've often said that I have a very positive online experience for the most part. And there's so many people, I'll see comments all of a sudden and be like, oh, ignore the hate on this, ignore this comment. And I'm like, I don't see that comment. So unless you guys are seeing comments I don't see, like sometimes I've been blessed, I should say, very blessed that my online space has been so lovely. I am getting a bunch of texts. I live in an area where I have really crappy service. And now I've just got like a flood of texts. Like I'm a text avoider is what it is. I don't know if that's like an ADD thing or like, you know, when you get easily overwhelmed and like you can see these texts and you know you should be answering them and it's like nothing at all. It's like, oh, hey, are you ready for that coffee date tomorrow? Like, Like I'll answer. The weirdest thing though is that I will message my friends back lickety split if I'm remembering to. Like often I will open their message or I won't see it because there's always these influx of messages in my inbox. Someone remind me about that before I forget what I'm talking about now. So I'm easy, like Messenger, all those things. I'm so quick to answer them back. But if someone texts me, maybe I'll text you back tomorrow. I get overwhelmed. But if you would have just messaged me on Messenger, probably would, like, you know, or it's just like the overwhelming things, the things I don't want to do, I avoid. I have really bad avoidance things. But the inbox thing, oh, I didn't forget, good job. So many people send me so many messages and I have filters on and all of the things and somehow they still always, a lot of them are very positive, but I physically cannot read through all those messages all the time, between TikTok and that, like I couldn't just shut them off too, but there are a lot of really helpful and amazing people that I've met from there and people who have really uplift me during really crappy times from those messages. So that's why I keep them open, but then often there will be like, oh, okay, 50 people message you today, let's go through them. Again, it got crappy eyes, all these things, it becomes exhausting. So if you message me and I don't answer you back, or I've opened it and don't answer you back, it's not because I'm like, I don't care or anything about the things you said. You just have to remind yourself that like, there's like either 560,000 people on TikTok, there's 60K on, or almost 60 on, I don't know, between both of them are 50 something, 60, I don't actually know. So there's a lot more of you guys than me. So if I get to your message, beautiful. And if I don't, I probably still care what you have to say. It's just hard for me to get through all of them. And sometimes I will open like my family's, Ryan's messages, and I'll forget to answer them because I get overwhelmed. And that's life. Oh, I need to get off my butt. I'm checking to make sure I didn't miss any comments. And that's what I mean. If you guys are seeing comments on your side, I'm not. I see 3 comments right now on YouTube, and I see no comments on Instagram. I just see everyone that's joined throughout the afternoon here. So, okay, I'm gonna get out of my chair for a little bit and rest. And if I'm bored later, I think maybe I'll do a TikTok live. I'm getting spicy with the lives today. I normally never do a live. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It was like fun to be able to do a little occupational therapy with you guys, talk a little bit about my trip. I normally don't do stuff like this, so it was a little bit hard, but I think it was fun. Now I also have to try to figure out how to get out of these lives. So if I'm this close to my screen, God bless. Don't look at my zits is what it would be. And don't look at my lazy eye. Okay, YouTube, you're going first. I don't know if this is gonna work. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you. Hopefully that worked.